So we just couldn't make it happen again. 0-0 draw to Athletic Club. A lot of bad things happened. Pedri's out. Frankie de Jong is out. And as of recording this, 5 minutes after the match is over, everything is just not looking good at all. Everyone in chat's so angry. Luis Ruiz is very angry, and I agree with him. The game was so boring. That was just a pathetic performance on both sides. I don't think Athletic Club was fantastic. I don't think we were terrible, but I don't think we were great either. We really struggled a lot from the start of that match, and a lot of it had to do with Pedri and Frankie going out. I did this explanation on stream, but I'm going to do it again. Basically, when Pedri and Frankie plays as like a deeper lying midfielder. So it's him and Christensen as those deeper players. So they're playing kind of next to each other, and Christensen doesn't have a ton of responsibility moving the ball around. Frankie has much more responsibility. He's doing a lot. When he went off injured, Pedri now, who's playing more of an attacking like left attacking midfielder situation, but he still has to come back a little bit. He was moved to Frankie's position. So now it's Pedri and Christensen playing at that position. Fermin Lopez is brought on for Frankie, and he occupies Pedri's position more or less the exact same way that Pedri does. They're pretty similar in that role, in that position, with the responsibilities that are required of that position. Not a ton of defensive responsibilities, a lot of pressing, and freedom to go forward. Fermin is good there. That is where Fermin is his best. But what happened like 5 minutes later? Pedri gets injured and he has to go out. It looks like Pedri's going to be out for a while. It looks like a torn hamstring or pulled his hamstring again. The same hamstring that he continuously keeps injuring. So, it looks like he's going to be out for a while, and I don't know much more past that. I really can't. With Frankie, he's going to be out. They know less. It seems like his injury is less severe than Pedri's, which I was surprised about because he rolled his ankle pretty badly, but who knows? I would guess at least 2 weeks. I don't think either one of them are making the Napoli game, and we'll get into that in a bit. But basically, when Pedri went off, Fermin was in just a weird attacking midfielder role, but he never dropped back at all. When Gundo and Pedri both play up there, we see them coming back a lot more than Fermin was. And we could see why at times Fermin was an outlet for like a third man ball when they were trying to break the press, and it worked I think 2 or 3 times throughout the match when he was out on the right wing in the second half of that match. It did work at times, but it didn't work a ton. Gundo dropped back to kind of occupy that Christensen, that original Frankie role, and then who's brought on? Lamine Yamal was brought on, so he was now playing winger, and Rafinha was shifted over to that inverted left winger midfield role situation that Barca loves playing with Pedri. Rafinha was now playing that, and we all saw that that was okay. I don't think it was a great game from Rafinha. He didn't have the greatest decision making. He really was not phenomenal today. I don't think Lamine Yamal was phenomenal either. He's a kid, like whatever. I'm not gonna say he's finished. Like some of you guys were saying he's washed in chat. You're ridiculous. That's wild to say about a 16-year-old. He just wasn't on his greatest game today. I think Athletic Club was pretty good defensively. Whenever someone was on the ball, they had a pretty tight press around him. And especially in the box, whenever Cancelo was kind of in space, or he could have created, or Felix, who was more or less useless when he was brought on in the second half, Cancelo was very much so just taken out of the game by 3 or 4 defenders in the box, and that's difficult, and that sucks. And so we can't just hold that against Cancelo, which, by the way, he was that incredible save from the defender and the goalkeeper on Cancelo's long-distance shot. That was crazy. We just needed a little bit more luck, and that ball goes in. A different day, that ball goes in. A different day, Frankie and Pedri don't go out injured. And I think if we have Frankie and Pedri, we win this game. But I want to also highlight Cubarsí, Araujo, and Koundé had very good games. All 3 of them. And Cancelo defensively as well. Cancelo was very good against Iñaki Williams on the wing. That's not something we can say for the vast majority of matches, but he was good today defensively. And going forward, he was worse in the second half for sure. But Cancelo, Araujo, Koundé, and Cubarsí were all very good defensively. Cubarsí played some incredible balls yet again, and we should be proud of that. Ter Stegen really wasn't, I don't think he had to make a good save the entire match. No, he didn't have to make a good save the entire match. He made a couple saves, but they were more like crappy headers toward him that were very easy for him to control. He was really never threatened, but the midfield was just non-existent. When Pedri and Frankie went out, they couldn't do anything. There were a few times they broke through the press, but for the most part, everything was going through the wings, and that didn't work. Especially when they tried to bypass the midfield and go right direct to Robert Lewandowski. That just doesn't work. We've seen Robert just does not have the ability to hold up his defender and be strong enough to make a smart pass when trying to control a hard ball coming at you from your defenders. He just isn't able to do that. And so we were just really, I don't want to say not creative, but just in a bad situation. It was like all the worst things combined. I saw Dan Hilton tweeted, he's the one I made the iceberg video with from the Barcelona podcast. He tweeted that he had finally been happy with the way this lineup was working together and the way this squad was, meshing together. And then today we lose two of the most important players in that entire thing, if not the most important players. It sucks. Athletic Club were not good today. They were not good everywhere except defensively. They were solid defensively. They weren't phenomenal. Their press was okay in the first half, and then everybody got exhausted in the second half, and then it was fine. Iñaki Williams wasn't good. Villa Libre wasn't good. They were a weakened Athletic Club team. We should have taken that and capitalized, and I get it. It's going to be really hard for that to happen, and so whatever. We're just going to move forward. And try and focus on what is coming up, and that's the Napoli game. And we have some big problems ahead, because without Pedri and Frankie, it's gonna probably be Fermin Lopez and maybe Sergio Roberto playing. But without Frankie and Pedri, Gundo is gonna have to play deeper, which means we lose all of that creativity at the top of that midfield, linking up with Lewandowski or making good plays to Pedri or Lamine Yamal. We lose all of that, and so it's gonna be a tough game against Napoli. Napoli won against Juventus. I didn't watch the game, but a couple people came in chat who had, and they were saying that Juventus had a couple insane chances, and their last goal was a rebound off a penalty. So the goal that won them the game. And so Napoli, though they are probably finding some form, are not great. And I do believe we have another match before the Napoli game. Let's see. Our next game is against Mallorca on Friday, and then we play Napoli on Tuesday. So Mallorca should be a calmer game. Sure. Girona just lost against them today. It was a unlucky goal, we could say, and so they're not great. We can beat them, and it should be a calm game before the Napoli game, where I don't know, we might be able to put something together, find some form, and figure out how to play without Frankie and Pedri. It's going to be really difficult. It's going to be really difficult to figure out how to get away without Pedri and Frankie, especially this midfield. I think Xavi could have been better with his decision-making. I think I probably take out Robert Lewandowski at the end of this game, maybe instead of Rafinha. Joao Felix was effectively useless. Athletic Club were just able to combine too good without him. And I think if Gundo was able to step up more than he was, Felix could have been better, because I think they would link up well together. But I think I probably bring on Vitor Roque and Mark Yu instead of Felix, and I take off Lewandowski, because Lewandowski was just, we need energy in games like this. We were not getting the ball into the box at all, let alone getting it anywhere near Robert Lewandowski's feet in a dangerous position. And when that's happening, you can't leave Lewandowski in, because he's not progressing the ball. He's not linking up well. He's not going on hard runs. He's not pressing the team. He's not doing all of these things that we would get from Roque and Gu, and that we need at the end of those games. We need a hard runner, someone who's dangerous, and Lewandowski isn't like that unless he's getting the ball 2 feet in a dangerous position already. And we were struggling getting to that position at all. So it needed to be a lot better decision making there. It needed to be, it's just a little unfortunate, a little poor decision making. I think Rafinha made bad decisions today. I don't think Lamine Yamal was great. And I think with the two of them in better form, it could have been better. Again, Cancelo, if he is, if he goes, I don't know, if he's a little bit luckier, he hits that ball the slightest a bit higher. The goalkeeper doesn't touch it, and that's a goal. I don't know. It's unlucky, but it's also not. I don't think we created enough chances to to justify us beating them. I don't think they created enough chances to justify beating us. I think they played bad. I think we played poorly. So it just leaves us in a little bit of a worrying situation for this Napoli match, and it's going to be interesting to see how the team lines up against Mallorca. So I would just keep a watchful eye out for that, see what they decide to do. But I think we're gonna be in tough water for Napoli. A lot of people in chat were saying this is our Barcelona injury Champions League curse, and I mean, last season when we lost to Inter Milan in the group stage, we lost Araujo and Koundé, two of our best defenders, or no, our two best defenders, right before that match, and so we had to start Eric Garcia and PK, and we all know how that match went. Now we're gonna have to start without Frankie and Pedri. Now I think our defense is more solid than it was than it was even earlier this year, because I think Kubarsi's coming into himself. I think Araujo is figuring it out. Koundé is back to being really solid defensively, and so I think it's going to be an interesting matchup. Again, we're not going to be severely, mismatched or be the underdogs of this match at all. I think we're still better than Napoli. Napoli doesn't have a good midfield, so I think Fermin, if he is in good form now, he knows he's going to start that match. He's for a fact going to be in this match. Even if Frankie comes back, there's no way you don't play Fermin Lopez. He is too much. He's too similar to that Pedri profile to not play him. So he has to get playing time, and if he doesn't, I'm going to be very upset. But he has to make better decisions too, because he hasn't been good. He hasn't been making good decisions. His first touch was not good today, and so we got a lot to watch. I think we can still beat Napoli. They're not perfect. We're not terrible, and so I think Athletic Club is probably better than Napoli right now. Like maybe with Nico Williams in this side, you could say that. But, it'll be interesting to say. But thank you guys for checking out the second channel. I'm going to try to upload another video this week on the second channel, but, we'll see. I got a little bit of a weird week going. But the first main channel, it's going to get a video on Saturday for the remainder of the future. It should just be every Saturday from now on. But, it might change. It might be Sundays sometimes. I might rotate it with the streams, actually, but we'll figure it out later. But thank you for watching. If you guys want to check out the merch, too, at roludesigns.com. It helps me out. Just check it out if you like designs. If you don't, no big deal. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace, everybody.